All right, how you guys doing? We're going to continue in the book of Baruch here. Coming along the end here. It's going to get exciting. I'm going to go grab my glasses. We're going to get going. All right, guys. Sorry, I had to clean my glasses. So yesterday we were talking about the dark waters and the light waters falling. So and the harvest of its evil and its good seeds hath come, that the mighty one will bring upon the earth and its inhabitants and upon its rulers. So all the rulers have a spirit of perpetuation, a spirit of stupor of a heart. How you doing? So how's it going, Jerry? So in the inhabitants upon it and its rulers. So that's already happened. The mighty one will bring upon the earth and its inhabitants and its rulers all the good and the evil seed. Perpetuation of spirit and stupor of heart. And they will hate one another, and they will provoke one another to fight. And the mean shall rule over the honorable, and all those low degrees shall be exalted above the famous. And the many shall be delivered into the hands of a few, and those who are nothing shall rule over the strong. And the poor shall have abundance beyond the rich, and the impious shall exalt themselves above the heretic, and the wise shall be silent, and the foolish shall speak. Neither shall the thought of men be then confirmed, nor the counsel of the mighty, nor shall the hope of those who hope be confirmed. Moreover, it shall be when those things which were predicted have come to pass. That's what we're getting. We're already done that. That confusion shall fall upon all men. Okay? Where do you think we are now? I tried to tell someone today that the Antichrist was Prince William. You know what he said to me? You have to be a royal. He's not royal, he said. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's the most royal, one of the most royal people on the earth. I said, that's the silliest thing I ever heard. That some of them shall fall in the battle, and some of them shall perish in anguish, and some of them shall be destroyed by their own destroyer. That's what that means. That's why it's got it darkened. Destroyer. They'll be destroyed. Okay, and some of them will be destroyed by their own. The Most High will reveal those peoples who he hath prepared before. That's us. And they shall come and make war with the leaders that shall then be left. It shall come to pass, whosoever getting out of the war shall die in the earthquake. And whoever is getting safe out of the earthquake shall be burnt with fire. No way out. That's what it's saying. And whoever getteth safe out of the fire shall be destroyed. No way out. At the end, there's no way out for them. They can run into the hills. They can cover themselves in rocks. There's no way out. They will be destroyed by famine. And it shall come to pass, whosoever the victors and the vanquished getteth safe out of the escape of these things aforesaid shall be delivered into the hands of my servants, Messiah, For all the earth will devour its inhabitants, and the Holy Land shall be mercy on its own, and it shall protect its inhabitants at the time. This is the vision thou hast seen, and this is the interpretation. For I have come to tell thee these things, because thy prayer hath been heard with the Most High. Here now also regarding the bright light, the bright lightning. Okay, that's happening all over the place right now. He comes down like lightning. These are beings. Okay, and they're running around right now, starting a lot of fires. So, regarding the bright lightning, which is to come at consummation. After those black waters, this is the word. After the signs have come, of which thou was told before, when the nations become turbulent, in the time of my Messiah is come, he shall both summon all the nations, and some of them he shall spare, and some of them he shall slay. These things therefore shall come upon the nations, the whole world, indignation, which are to be spared by him. Every nation which knoweth not Israel, and hath not trodden down the seed of Jacob, shall indeed be spared. So let me tell you what Israel is. Us. Anyone who hasn't trodden you down could be spared, or anybody of God, or God, or anything. Any of us will be spared. Some of them will. And this because every nation shall be subjected to thy people, but all those who have ruled over you or have known you shall be given up to the sword. And it shall come to pass, when he hath and has sat down in peace for an age on the throne of his kingdom, the joy shall then be revealed, and the rest appear. We don't have rest yet. We're not resting. I heard someone say, I have rest. And I'm like, I thought you were supposed to be laboring. There's no rest until the end. Then that's what it says. You should have rest then. And the healing shall descend in dew, and the anxiety and anguish and lamentation shall pass away from amongst men. No more crying. He's going to wipe those tears away. And gladness shall proceed through the whole earth, and no one shall again die untimely, nor shall any adversary suddenly befall. And judgments and reviling and contentions and ravages and blood and passion and envy and hatred and whatsoever those things are like these shall go into condemnation when they are removed. For if these very things which have filled this world with evils, and on the account of these the life of man has been greatly troubled, that's us. The wild beast shall come from the forest and minister unto men. What's that mean? The wild beast. And as the dragons shall come forth from their holes to submit themselves to a little child, and a woman shall no longer then have pain when they bear, nor shall they suffer torment when they yield the fruit of the womb. And it shall come to pass in those days that the reaper shall not grow weary, nor these that build by toil worm, for the work shall of themselves speedily advance. Toil worm. The heck is that? That I never. That the reaper shall not grow weary. Okay, like I say, some stuff I don't have an answer for. So with those who do them in much tranquility, for that time is consummation of that which is corruptible. Consummation. the coming of times, the ending of times. So, of that which is corruptible, and being of that which is not corruptible. Therefore, those things which were predicted shall belong to it. Therefore, it is far away from evils and near to those things which not die not. This is the bright lightning which come after the last dark waters. So when I answered, I said, who can understand, O Lord, the goodness, for it is incomprehensible? Or who can search thy compassions with thy infinite? Or who can comprehend thy intelligence? Or who is able to recount thy thoughts of thy mind? Or who of those that are able to are born can hope to come to those things, unless he is one to whom thou art merciful and graceful? Because it's assuredly thou didst not have compassion on man, those are who are under thy right hand. We're under his right hand. He's talking about his children. They could not come to those things, but those who are in the numbers named can be called. The numbers named. You are named and numbered. In Corinthians, you're marked by God. You can't be marked by the devil. Here it is. Named and numbered can be called. And if indeed who exists wherefore we have come, and submit ourselves to him who brought us out of Egypt, who brought us out of this flesh. We shall come again and remember those things which have passed, and shall rejoice regarding that which has been. But now, if we know not wherefore we have come, and reckon, so here, but if now we know not wherefore we have come, and recognize not the principate of him who brought us up out of Egypt. If you don't know where you're coming, where you came from, you're not going to know where you've been. We shall come again and seek after those things which have been now, and be grieved with pain because of those things which have befallen. So Baruch hidden the instruct to the people, and he answered, he said unto me, in so much as revelation of the vision has been interpreted of these as thou besawest, hear the word of the Most High, that thou mayest know what is to befall after these things. For thou shalt surely depart from this earth, nevertheless not unto death, but thou shalt be preserved unto the consummation of times. How are you being preserved? Up in the storehouse. You can't lose if you're being preserved up there. You're not going to lose. So go therefore up to the top of the mountain, and there shall pass before thee all regions of the land, and the figure of the inhabitant world, of the tops of the mountains and the depths of the valleys, and that thou mayest see what thou art leaving, and whither thou art going. Now this shall befall after 40 days. Go therefore during these days, instruct the people so far as they are able, that they may learn so as not to die at the last times. So they are to learn knowledge. If you have knowledge, you won't die. Them who are lacking it, well, and that's what it's saying, but may learn in order that they may live at last times. What he's saying is these books, at the last time, we want to gain as much knowledge as we can now. So seeking knowledge with spirit that errs is not going to help you see. In the last times, you need to be seeking the books, the extra books. Someone invited me to listen to books in a church, and I don't do that. And Baruch went thence, and came to the people, and assembled them together from the greatest to the least, and said unto them, Hear ye, children of Israel, behold, how many of you are who remain of the 12 tribes of Israel? For to you and to your fathers the Lord gave law more. Thick pages. Excellent than to all the peoples. And because your brethren transgressed the commandments of the Most High, he brought vengeance upon you and upon them. And he spared not the former, and the latter also he gave into captivity. And the latter, that's us, the latter day people that gave into captivity. There's one more captivity coming. It's going to be a danger. That's the one, the latter one that God showed me that I'm not getting out of. And left no residue of them. And behold, you are here with me. If therefore you direct your ways aright, you also shall not depart as your brethren departed. But they shall come to you, for he is merciful whom ye worship, and he is gracious whom ye hope, and he is true, so that he should do you good and not evil. Have you not seen here what does befallen Zion? Or do you perchance think that the place that had sinned, and that on the account it was overthrown, or the lamb was wrought foolishness, or therefore it was delivered up? Know ye not that an account of you who did sin, that which sin was not overthrown? And on the account of those who wrought wickedly, that which wrought not foolishness, which delivered up its enemies? And the whole people answered and said to me, so far as we can recall, all good things which the mighty one have done unto us, we do recall them, and those things which we do not remember, he in his mercy knoweth. Nevertheless, do for us, thy people, write also to our brethren in Babylon the epistle of the doctrine and the scroll of hope, that thou mayest confirm them also before thou didst depart from us. For the shepherds of Israel have perished, and the lamps which gave light are extinguished, and the fountains have withheld their stream, whence we used to drink. That's right now. We're at the latter times. There's the doctrine's false. There's no more. This is happening right now. Latter times. And we are left in darkness and amid the trees of the forest and the thirst of the wilderness. And I answered and I said to them, shepherds and the lamps and the fountains came from the law, and through we depart the law abideth. If therefore we have respect to the law, are we intent upon wisdom? A lamp shall not be wanting, and a shepherd shall not fail, and a fountain shall not dry up. Because you're going to thirst. You're thirsty, which before over was, hungering and thirsting. Nothing's going to dry up for you. Our shepherd is Jesus. You shall not fail, and the fountain will not dry up. You will be fed. Nevertheless, he said unto me, I will write also to the brother in Babylon. I will send by means of men, and I will write in like manner to the 9 tribes and a half, and send by means of the bird. And it come to pass on one of the 20th day in the 8th month, that I, Baruch, came and sat down under an oak, and under the shadow of the branches, and no man was with me, but I was alone. And I wrote these epistles, and I sent by an eagle to 9.5 tribes, and the other I sent those that were at Babylon. So one of the kings of the earth was Babylon, Pharaoh. I'm trying to think of the other one. Sodom and Gomorrah. And the fourth and final one, the Antichrist. By the means of 3 men, and I called an eagle and spoke the words unto it, and the Most High hath made, there you go, an eagle, Jesus being used, that thou shouldest be higher than all birds. The eagle is the highest bird, the strongest bird. It's on the highest perch. Therefore, he's using the eagle as Jesus. He also uses the eagle as the devil, for it is we are the prey of an eagle. Shouldst be higher than all the birds, and thou go tarry not in any place, nor enter into a nest, or settle upon any tree. That's the time I'm in. I can't listen to anybody. I can't go into the church buildings. I can't go under a wrong tree that's teaching wrong things. That thou hast passed over breadth of many waters of the river Euphrates, and hast gone to the people that dwell there, and cast down to them this epistle. Remember, moreover, that at the time of the deluge, Noah received from the dove the fruit of the olive. What's the dove? The Holy Spirit. Also the ravens ministered to Elijah, bearing him food as they had been mandate. Solomon also at the time of the kingdom, wheresoever he wished to send or seek of anything, commanded a bird to go thither, and it obeyed him as he commanded it. And now it was wary thee, and turn not to the right hand nor to the left, but fly and go in a direct way, that thou mayest preserve the command of the mighty one, according as I said unto thee. So these are the words of the epistle which Baruch the son of Neriah sent to the 9.5 tribes which are across the river Euphrates, in which these things were written. Thus saith Baruch the son of Neriah to the brethren carried into captivity, mercy and peace I bear in thy mind, brethren, with the love of him who created us, who loved us from old, and never hated us, but above all educated us. And truly I know that, behold, all the 12 tribes are bound by one bond, all of us, insomuch we are born from one Father. All of us are born from one Father, who is our mother, because the Creator is our Father, is our mother. Wherefore I have been more careful to leave you with words of the epistle before I die, that you may be comforted regarding the evils which have come upon you, that you may be grieved also regarding the evil that have befallen your brethren. And again, also that you may justify his judgment, which have decreed against you, that you should, which hath decreed against you, that you should be carried away captive. Here we go. For what you have suffered is disproportionated to what you have done, in order that at the last times that you may be found worthy of your Father. That at the last time that we may be found worthy of our Father. How do you found worthy of the Father? With your face in the books, with your listening, praying, supplicating, in the Word, when He comes back, in the meat and due season especially. So, therefore, if you consider that you have now suffered those things for your good, you've suffered tribulations. You may think it's bad, but it's all for the good. How you doing, Myra? So that you may not finally be condemned and tormented. So we've suffered throughout our entire life. Because we don't suffer anymore at the end. We suffer for the evil people now. Because they suffer for a lot longer than our lifetime is. Then you shall receive eternal hope. That's what I have. If above all you destroy from your heart vain error, If you destroy from your heart vain error, what's that? A spirit that errs. Vain error. That your eyes will open, for if you have these things, he will continually remember you. He who always promised on our behalf to those who were more excellent than we, that he will never forget nor forsake us, but with much mercy will gather together again those who were dispersed. That's us. He's gathering us from the four winds of the earth spiritually. He's gathering the sheep. He's separating from the goat. That's what this whole thing is about. That's why I can't go into a church building or listen to someone with a full sermon. I can only watch the little things to get things off them. Yeah, I get it too sometimes, and I get nosebleeds from them all when I get them. So now, my brethren, learn first what befalls Zion, how Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up against us. That was the king of the world. That's one of the kings of the world. And so was the Pharaoh and Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, this new king, he's already risen, just not showing you. It says in one book, they will never know who he is until it's too late. Why? Because if they did, they wouldn't go to him, guys. It's only going to be revealed to a small majority of the Christians, because the ones that I revealed to it on TikTok, one said to me, the prince isn't royal. Oh my God, have you ever heard anything so funny, Myra? Has to be royal. Would I tell you something? The prince and the king of this world are the most royal people on the earth. He said he's not royalty. I was like, I literally told him, that is the stupidest thing I ever heard. Not trying to hurt you, buddy. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up against us. That's what the whole world is. They're coming out. We're up against us. There's a war against principalities, and it's in our governments and in these fake Christians, the most of all. I have people that aren't Christians, and they're not prosecuting me at all. I sit and talk about it all weekend around ungodly people. They can hear me straight out. They know I'm spiritual. They love me. When it talked about here that the dark waters are going into the kings and to the people with vain, the Jezebel spirit is rampant. So we have not kept the commandments which he commanded us, yet he hath not chastened us as we deserve. So that's in the Bible. He's not punished us to what we deserve. He's been light on you. I deserve death for sin. This is in your Bible. For what befell you, we also suffer in a preeminent degree. For it befell us also. We suffer to a degree that nobody does. Like, I am dead to the world. I was at work today. I worked 5 hours, and I cannot work more than 5 hours. I am bagged. He will wear out the saints of Most High. This is a war. And by the end of it, there's going to be nothing left of us. We are going to be so tired, but inside, we are going to have so much joy. That's what I am now. So now, my brethren, I make known unto you that when the enemy had surrounded the city, the angels of the Most High were sent. Okay, it's the same. You are the city. Sometimes they have to fight to get through. Takes time. There's that one angel, trying to think of who it was. Gabriel had to fight through to get through to help them. So sometimes you get weak. You have no strength. You have no help. You may stumble. Said they overthrew the fornications of the strong wall, and they destroyed the firm iron corners which could not be rooted out. Nevertheless, they hid all the vessels of the sanctuary, lest the enemy should get possession of them. So they hid the vessels of the sanctuary. God hid your vessel of the sanctuary so that your enemy can't really get to it. Your virgin soul can't be touched. And when they had done these things, they delivered thereupon to the enemy, then overthrown wall, and plundered house, and burnt temple, and the people who were overcome, because they were delivered up, lest the enemy should boast and say, thus by force have we been able to lay waste even to the house of the Most High in war. Your brethren also they have bound and led away to Babylon, and have caused them to dwell there. But we have been left here, being very few. There is always a few of God's people left behind. In Noah's case, 8. But we have been left here, being very few. This is the tribulation about which I wrote to you. So, how come they're trying to avoid that? That scares them. For surely, and isn't that what the devils once said, the demons and the pigs said? Have you come to take me out before my time? Most of the Christians are doing that. They're rushing. Like the fake ones. For surely they know the consolation of the inhabitants of Zion's counseleth you. So far as you know that it was prospered, your consolation was greater than the tribulation which ye endured in having departed from it. So your consolation was greater than tribulation. What you get at the end is greater than all the suffering and the pain that you go through now. It's worth it. But by regarding the consolation, hear ye the word. For I was mourning regarding Zion. So where's Zion to? And I prayed for mercy for the Most High, and I said, how long will these things endure for us? And will these evils come upon us always? Always. For the end, till the end of your life, you have to endure, and all evils come upon us always. So the ones saying they're not being tested. And this time, I'd question if you're even of God. So the Mighty One did according to all the multitude of his mercies, and the Most High according to the greatness of his compassion. And he revealed unto me the word that I might receive consolation. And he showed me visions that I should not again endure anguish. He did that with me. I do not have anguish anymore. And he made known to me the majesty of the times. You see, it was in there. He made known him the time he lived in. You don't think he's doing that to us today? No man will know the day or the hour. That's because you're saying that because something is wrong with you. That's why they say that. Because they never read it. They take that one out of context. That one I have to put the context in it. Some things you can, some things you can't. You have to have the whole thing of it. That's why they do that. If the good man of the house was watching, he wouldn't suffer his house to be broken up, and God would give him all the information to where he is at the time that he's in, because he's God's child, and he will get the mysteries. God's children get the mysteries. Boom. I hate that one. So he made known to me the mystery of the times. Sorry, the mystery. His children will know the time they live in, right up to the final day. But not one church will teach you that. That's because you're uncomfortable with something. I know, because I used to say it. I wasn't ready. Can I just tell you something, though? When it happens, not one of us is going to be fully ready. I'll just tell you that. So, in the advent of the hours, he showed me. He showed me right up to the destroyer, right up to where I get this done to me. I know what's coming. War and the destroyer and Jesus. As soon as the king stands up, do your research. King Charles is giving over the throne in this new year coming up. But they're not going to know he's king. Once he rises, it'll be too late. So there you go. The mystery of the times. You're lucky if we have a year left. No, we're lucky, we're blessed if that's all we have left. That's what I'm going to tell you. So therefore, my brethren, I've written to you that you may comfort yourselves regarding the multitude of your tribulations. In those times, if you're stumbling and falling, but you still believe in the Lord, then you're only stumbling. You didn't fall. This is the time. The multitude of your tribulations. He's speaking about now. For you know that the Maker will assuredly avenge us on our enemies according to all that they have done to us. That's why it's so careful what you do to your brother. Because if they're doing that stuff to you and they're not repenting, so that the consummation which the Most High will make is very high, and his mercy that is coming, and the consummation of his judgment is by no means far off. So it wasn't far off there. Because time is pretty irrelevant to God. It doesn't have time. For lo, we see now the multitude of prosperity of the Gentiles, through they act impiously, they act perfect, but they shall be like a vapor. And we behold the multitude of the power, through they do wickedly, but they shall be made like unto a drop. And we see the firmness of their might, through they resist the mighty one every hour. But they shall be accounted as spittle in the bucket. It's in your Bible. Their time is going to run. They're going to be counted as nothing to the Most High. But as smoke shall they pass away. What does that mean? They go to the fire. And we meditate on the beauty of their gracefulness. Through they have to do with pollutions, but as grass that withers shall they fade away. And we consider the strength of their cruelty, through they remember not the end thereof, but as a wave that passes shall they be broken. And we remark the boastfulness of the might, that they deny the benefits of God, who gave it to them, but they shall pass away as a passing cloud. For the Most High shall assuredly hasten his times, and he shall assuredly bring his hours, and he shall assuredly judge those who are in his world. And he shall visit in truth all things by means of their hidden works. Everything will be brought to light. That's happening. In the end times, everything gets brought into the light, to the truth. And he shall assuredly examine the secret thoughts, and that which laid up in the secret chambers of all members of man. Thinking you could get away with it in your bedroom or in your secret chambers of your mind? But you can't. It's all there. And he shall make them manifest in the presence of all with reproof. Let none therefore of these present things ascend into your hearts, but above all let us be expectant, because that which is promised to us shall come. So if it's promised to you, don't worry about it. It's coming. God doesn't give a promise. They don't give promises and not keep them. And let us not look into the delights of the Gentiles in the present. I could read it better like this. Let us remember what we have been promised to us in the end. For the ends of the times and the seasons and whatsoever is with them shall assuredly pass by together, and the consummations, moreover, of the age shall then show the great might of its ruler, when all things come to judgment. Do you therefore prepare your hearts? There you go. Not your flesh in these times. It's too hard. Don't worry too much about it. Fight the sin to the best ability, but prepare your heart. So if you're preparing your heart, your flesh will be delivered. You'll be delivered from it. Just keep preparing your hearts for that which before ye believed, lest you come to be in bondage in both worlds, so that ye be led away captive here and be tormented there. For as to that which existed now are that have passed away, or which is to come, in all these things neither is the evil fully evil, nor again the good fully good. For all healthiness of the times are turning into disease. Nothing's good, fully good, and nothing's fully evil. And all the force of the time is turning into impotence. On every old age and gracefulness of the time is turning faded and hateful, and every proud dominion of the present is turning into humiliation and shame, and every praise of glory of this time is turning into shame of silence, and every vain splendor in insolence of the time is turning into voiceless ruin, and every delight of joy at the time is turning to worms and corruption, and every clamor of pride of his time is turning into dust of stillness, and every possession of riches at the time is being turned into Sheol alone. All the rich is going, they don't go into heaven. Easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle. And all the repent and passion, and at this time is turning into involuntary death, and every passion and lust of the time is turning into judgment of torments, and every artifice of craftiness of the time is turning into proof of the truth, and every sweetness and the urgence of the time is turning into judgment and condemnation, and every love is lying is turning into calmly through truth. Since therefore these things are done now, doth anyone think that they will not be avenged? But the consummation of all things come to the truth. Jesus Christ, the consummation of time. Prophecy, time. Behold, I have therefore made unto you these things, whilst I live. For I said, ye shall learn the things that are excellent, for the mighty one hath commanded to instruct you, and I will set before you some of the commandments of his judgment before I day. Remember that formerly Moses assured called heaven and earth to witness against you. So they're saying Moses called heaven and earth to witness. The witnesses, two witnesses. So if ye transgress the law, ye shall be dispersed. But if ye keep it, ye shall be kept. And other things also used to say unto you when you, the 12 tribes, were together in the desert. And after his death, he cast them away from you. And on the account there came upon you what had been predicted. And now Moses used to tell you before they befell you, and lo, they have befall you, and you have forsaken the law. Lo, I also say unto you, after you have suffered, that if you obey those things which have been said unto you, you shall receive from the mighty one whatsoever hath been laid up and reserved for you. What's that? Your Holy Ghost, your bridegroom. Yeah, I know this is people aren't sticking around, but I got to get through these parts, right? Moreover, let the epistles be for the testimony between me and you, that ye may remember the commandments of the mighty one. So let the epistles, anybody who writ anything is from God. And that also there might be a defense in the presence of him who sent me. And remember that the law of Zion and the Holy Land and your brethren and the covenant of your fathers, and forget not the festivals of the Sabbaths. So I'm going to tell you right now, Jesus is king of that, and we don't know the Sabbaths. They've been messed up too bad, and he says nobody knows it. And to deliver ye this epistle and the traditions of the law to your sons after you, as also your fathers delivered them to you, and at the times make requests perseveringly and pray diligently with your whole heart, that the mighty one may be reconciled to you, and that he may not reckon the multitude of your sins, but remember the rectitude of your fathers. For if he judge us not according to the multitude of his mercies, woe unto all of us who are born. See, we are being judged by the house of the Lord and chastened. If you're not being judged by God, then you're in trouble. I'm going to finish up here because not too many people are really interested. So today, in this one. So know ye moreover that in the former times and in the generations of old, those our fathers had helpers, righteous men, and holy prophets. Nay, more were we were in our own land, and they helped us when we sinned. And they interceded for us to him who made us. They covered for them. They can't get over that sin. They're having a hard time because they trusted in their works, and the mighty one heard their prayer and forgave us. But now the righteous have been gathered, and the prophets have fallen asleep. And we also have gone forth from the land, and Zion hath been taken from us. They fell asleep, all right. So I'm going to do communion. then I know everything isn't spippy and boomy every time I do a show here. I mean, and just have to get through these things, right? There are some parts that are going to be long, okay? And anyways, it's all good, guys. So as they took the bread, as they were eating, Jesus took the bread, he blessed it, he broke it, he gave it to them, saying, "Eat this. This is my body." They gave the cup to him. He gave thanks to the cup, and he gave the cup to him, saying, "Take ye, drink ye. This is the blood of the New Testament, which is shed for the many for the remissions of our sins." We are to do it as often as possible. And I'll be taking a break for the rest of the day. Everybody needs to go back and catch up. There's a lot of catching up to do, and yeah, I'm gonna take a break here. This is my last. I'm not doing another show today unless something emergency comes up. When emergency comes up, watch for. Uh, I have a warning thumbnail. Wake up. All right, so I'll punch that in if something ever happens. God bless you guys and have a great day.